Welcome to Infrastructure Week. I'm Representative Valerie Fouché, and I serve as the vice-ranking member of the subcommittee responsible for railroads on the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Thanks to the bipartisan infrastructure law, it has been an incredible time for rail in this country. So I'm very excited to be here with Amtrak CEO, Stephen Gardner, to talk about all things rail.
Thanks so much for having me, Congressman Fouché. I'm really happy to be here. I couldn't agree with you more that this is an incredibly exciting time for infrastructure in the United States, and really particularly exciting for Amtrak and passenger rail. We've started a new era of investment here because of the infrastructure bill. We're able to really revolutionize our transportation system for passenger rail in the United States thanks to the investments, and we're really excited to both serve more of America and to do a better job serving places we already serve today.
30 million is an astonishing number, but the demand for rail service is only growing. So let's start there. What is drawing people to rail?
Well, you're right. 30 million people is essentially what we've been serving over these last couple of decades. This year, we're on track to recover not only the ridership we lost during the pandemic, but to grow beyond it, to exceed our ridership records and to grow from 30 million people all the way out. We think we can be serving in about another 15 years, 60 million people. So we are looking to double our ridership. And that's only possible because of the incredible investment that we've been receiving here because of the bipartisan infrastructure law and the opportunities that we have to serve more people across America. That's going to mean more trains, better infrastructure, more stations, and improvements all over the United States. And passengers want this service. Everywhere we go, we see a cry for more trains and better service.
It's clear that riding passenger rail is a great option for people, and the BIL is only making it better. Can you walk me through specific improvements the bipartisan infrastructure law is helping Amtrak make?
Absolutely. We're really comprehensively upgrading the whole system. The infrastructure law allows us to invest first in our trains, replacing equipment that we purchased in our first decade, so 1970s, with new modern 21st century passenger rail equipment. It's allowing us to upgrade our critical infrastructure, bridges and tunnels that are in some cases over 150 years old, with new modern higher capacity, higher speed assets. It's allowing us to upgrade and make more accessible our stations all across America. We serve over 500 destinations across 46 states. Across the United States, we're making investments to make these stations better and accessible for all of our riders. And then we have a whole series of improvements that allow us to upgrade the way we operate as a company. Our IT systems, our safety systems, the things that allow us to deliver more reliable service to passengers all over the United States. And that's all because for the first time we have a comprehensive investment program that allows us to plan and invest over 5 years.
So thinking back to those riders, stretching their legs and grabbing their sandwich in the cafe car, what can they look forward to?
Passengers, I think, find their way to passenger trains because it's more convenient. You can work on board, you can take, as you say, a relaxing sort of recline in your seat. You don't have to worry about that middle seat. You can walk over to the cafe, grab a bite, and we have those experiences today, but often they are limited by the age of our equipment. So I think the thing that people are going to notice right away over the course of the next 5 years and beyond is new passenger trains across many of our routes. And these will be modern, even more comfortable, provide better information and a higher experience level for passengers. And I think already people choose passenger rail because it's comfortable and convenient, plus those great views you get, all over America. But we're going to make those attributes even stronger with better connectivity and a better experience. So I think people already like what they get, and they're going to get a much better experience in the future because of these investments.
My district is in North Carolina, including Durham, and we have 2 state-supported Amtrak routes, the Carolinian and the Piedmont, which carried more than 600,000 people last year. How is this funding benefiting all Amtrak riders, not just the Northeast Corridor?
Well, it's a great point, Congresswoman. We have an investment program that really covers all the United States. As you know, we have $66 billion invested through the bipartisan infrastructure law for rail. About $60 billion of that really for passenger rail. A third of that came to Amtrak for us to invest in these core assets that I discussed, passenger equipment, stations, etc. The other two-thirds are going through the Federal Railroad Administration and the Department of Transportation to invest in expansion and improvement. As a result of those investments, we'll see expanded and new corridors across the United States. So we serve more of America. Today there's a lot of opportunity across the United States, and North Carolina is a leader in this. We see record ridership growing month after month, year after year in North Carolina because of the investments that both the federal government is making through Amtrak, through the Department of Transportation, and the state of North Carolina is making. And so we see opportunities like that all over the United States. And already some of the big investments that Amtrak is making with the 1/3 of those dollars that we received will benefit the whole U.S. We've bought new locomotives for all our long distance trains that serve the entire United States. They're already in service and more on the way. We have new equipment coming that'll benefit North Carolina and Virginia that will replace our 1970s era passenger equipment. And we're making those stations accessible all over the United States. So we're committed to both growing and serving more of the United States, and then doing so with higher quality.
And you said something about making everything accessible. So that's a really great example, because when something is ADA compliant, everyone benefits. Ramps, improvement to visual and audio announcements, and platforms flush with train car entrances are helpful for riders with mobility issues, passengers with strollers and luggage, and others. The bipartisan infrastructure law made a massive down payment in passenger rail. During Infrastructure Week, what is your biggest priority to keep the momentum going?
Well, you're right, Congresswoman. We have tremendous momentum. You think about what the bipartisan infrastructure law has done. It's investing in Amtrak over really the next 5 years, the same amount that the federal government has invested in Amtrak in 50 years. So this is a huge accelerant in expanding passenger rail. We're really going to create a new era. The way that we need to keep this moving is continuing to deliver these projects and grow ridership every year. As I said, we're already ahead of our pre-pandemic levels in ridership, which just proves that Amtrak's product is something the American people want. When we can bring it to more people, we know that's going to grow. The other component is that the infrastructure investments, this is the beginning of a long-term program. This is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So we need continued investment, not just in this 5-year period, but into the future to keep growing this network and making rail more accessible to more Americans.
And so many other benefits with what you've just described, such as fighting climate change, expanding mobility, and creating jobs. Those are great things to keep working towards. Final question. Where are you most excited to take your next Amtrak ride?
Oh, that's a hard choice to pick amongst the family, so to speak. We have so many great routes all over the United States, and I'm sure to be riding a train today, for instance, so I know I'll be across our network. But I'm really excited to later in May start our new service to the Twin Cities. This is an opportunity to launch a existing train, the Hiawatha service that goes to Milwaukee west to St. Paul and in Minnesota. So we're going to inaugurate a new service, something we don't do every day, and that's going to happen later in May. So I'm really excited to be on that first train. It's a great example of driving more service across the United States in markets where we know passengers are ready for more train travel.
So that sounds wonderful, and you're always welcome to come down south to my home state of North Carolina and enjoy all that we have to offer. Thanks again for joining me to talk about rail investments in the bipartisan infrastructure law and celebrate Infrastructure Week, or should I say, Infrastructure Decade.
Absolutely. It's been a great pleasure to be with you, and thanks so much for all the focus here on what passenger rail can do and the value the infrastructure bill is bringing to the Americans' justice.
My pleasure.